Okay, good morning everyone. So for today, we're going to discuss chapter 4 of organization and management. Yung chapter 4 natin, organizing. So for the last week or last week, we have discussed chapter 3, which is the forecasting and the planning. So for today, we're going to discuss organizing, and then the next chapter will be staffing. So for the next chapters, ayun na yung mga continuation ng mga functions of management or yung the managerial functions. So, start natin from forecasting, planning, organizing, staffing, and so forth. So, for today, we're going to discuss the organizing. So, before we proceed to staffing, so for today, and after we finish this chapter, we should be able to discuss the nature of organizations, distinguish the various types of organization structures, and we should be able to apply organizations theories in solving business cases, and we should be able to identify the different elements of delegation and differentiate formal from informal organization. So yun yung mga natin, mga task natin or yung mga dapat nating malaman. Okay, so for organization or organizing, so i-discuss natin yung meaning of organization, yung process of organization, and principles of organization. Okay, so for organizing, yan yung managerial functions, which is the organizing. Organizing can be thought as the identification and classification of required activities necessary for the accomplishment of objectives and the goals of the organization. So, yung first definition natin, yung identification of the activities. So, sa activities muna tayo. And then classification or grouping of activities. And then assignment of jobs to the formal group. So, for example, ito na yung na-identify na natin yung mga activities na kailangan ng isang organization. And then na-classify na natin siya, pwedeng depende sa or depende sa pangangailangan ng activities or depende rin sa types of department, ganun. And then, assignment of jobs to the formal groups. So, yun nga, pag na-classify na natin yung mga activities, depende sa department na belong siya, pwede na tayo mag-assign ng mga jobs na yun. Kunyari, for example, for the sales or, kunyari, for example, patataas natin yung sales, meron tayong mga activities intended for the marketing department. Ayun. Establishing a network of authority and responsibility. So, dapat hindi lang tayo nag-a-assign ng jobs. Also, dapat meron tayong mga leaders or boss, yun nga, na magkakaroon ng authority na para magbigay ng responsibility sa mga subordinates nila. Kasi kailangan sa isang organization, kailangan din natin talaga ng manager or leaders. The last one is providing framework for measurement, evaluation, and control. So sa organization, yun nga, part din ng, sa organizing, part din na magkaroon tayo ng criteria or yung tinatawag na mga KPI or mga measurement para ma-evaluate natin yung mga subordinates natin or the managers if they are doing well. Ganun siya. So, it is part of the evaluation and control. Kasi if in case na hindi nila nagagawa ng tama yung work nila, pwede tayong mag-provide ng training. As well as pwede rin natin silang ma-terminate kung hindi talaga nila kayang gawin at hindi na talaga sila fit doon sa activities na inassign mo. Ayun. Also, dito rin natin malalaman kung sino yung mga empleyado ang kailangan natin. So, magkakaroon ng staffing. So, kaya sa next chapter, staffing yung magiging topic. Kasi, after natin ma-provide yung mga framework, yung criteria, KPIs, measurement, yan, for the evaluation and control, mag-hire tayo ng tao. Yun. So for the resources naman, ayan, we should be able to determine the specific needs of the resources. So, bago tayo mag-provide ng mga resources or maghanap ng resources, dapat i-identify natin kung kailangan ba talaga natin siya. So, for example, kumpleto naman na yung mga tao sa isang business, sa organization, hindi na tayo mag-hire pa ng bago. Maaaring pwede tayong mag-reorganization, structure, ganun. Or if in case na nag-expand si business, doon natin kakailanganin ng tao. Ayun, kaya tayo mag-hire, ganun. Allocation of resources into specific groups. So, ito yung pag-a-assign mo ng mga tao sa mga departments. For example, itong tao na to, since accounting yung natapos niya, so sa accounting department siya. Ganun siya. Yan. After nating malaman yung needs ng resources, i-allocate mo siya sa specific groups. And then, also, meron tayong evaluation and control of use of the resources. And again, organizing is the process of arranging and allocating work, authority, and resources among an organization's members so that they can achieve organizational goal. So we have here the process of organizing. So first, division of work, grouping of work, delegation, and coordination of work. So yun nga yung unang meaning na diniscuss ko about organizing, di ba? Una, dinetermine muna natin yung mga types of activities or resources na kailangan. Then, inallocate natin, kinalasify natin yung mga activities na yun. So, ganito din siya. Delegation of authority, o yun, after nating maklasify yung mga activities na kailangan, nag-assign tayo ng jobs, and kailangan natin ng leader para mag-monitor ng mga activities na yun. So, ito yung, parang ito na yung, yung picture ng process of organizing. So, first, syempre, designing of jobs. Meaning, sa organization, kailangan malaman natin kung ano ba yung mga activities or work na kailangan ng isang company. So, pag starting pa lang kayo ng business, so, kunyari, maliit na business. Siyempre, kunyari, salon. Ayan, kailangan natin ng mga hairdresser, mga manicurista. Siyempre, kailangan din natin ng security guard, cashier, as well as manager. So, ayan, marambol-rambol pa lang siya. So, yan. So, mag-form tayo ng departments. So, merong for security, meron namang for the service, yung kunyari, for example, itong yellow, yung mga service, yung mga hairdresser, manicurist, then pinagsama-sama na natin. And then last, yung mga cashier, yung mga manager, ayan, yung mga admin task, ganun. So after natin mag-form ng departments, next naman yung creating hierarchy. So kailangan kasi talaga natin ng leaders. Kailangan natin ng managers per department para mag-monitor or mag-evaluate ng performance ng isang department or mga employees. The next one is distributing authority. Ayan. So after makakreate ng hierarchy or organizational structure or the structure of the organization, magdi-distribute na tayo ng authority sa manager, sa leader, sa mga CEO or board of directors or yung mga top management. Next is coordinating and integrating activities. So ito na yung ipagko-connect na natin yung mga activities na ginagawa ng mga subordinates and as well as manager. Pero dapat, para ma-connect natin sila, dapat iisa sila ng objectives and goals. So yun, the last one is differentiating positions. So yun. So, every leaders, meron silang kanya-kanya responsibilities at iba-iba rin yung mga roles nila. Depende din sa pangangailangan ng organization. Maling ito, manager ng finance department, manager ng marketing, and then manager ng mga operation, ganun. So we have here the principles of organizing. So first is the unity of objective. Yun nga, kailangan per departments, kahit iba-iba sila na ginagawa, iba-iba sila ng activities na ginagawa per department, dapat iisang objective nila. So maaring it is to increase the sales, ayan, to maximize the wealth, ayan yung mga common objectives ng isang business. Baka naka-ano ka, ano tawag doon, yung i-connect sa internet, ganun. Okay, so the number 2 is the specialization. So yun nga, hindi dapat lahat ng bagay, alam mo, lalo na pag sa work, dapat meron kang specific or focus na field. For example, di ba sa accounting, na ano natin, na na-discuss natin dati na merong iba't ibang branches of accounting. So maaring ang focus mo someday maging auditor. So doon ka magpo-focus. And then, wait lang. Baka di mo na ata na-connect sa, tama ba yun? Yung connect to internet? Yun ba yun? Ayun, pinutin mo yung sa my mic. Tapos, connect over internet. Yun ba yun? So yun, yun nga sa specialization, dapat meron tayong focus na work natin. Para natin siya, para mas since may focus ka na, meron kang specific na work, ma-maximize mo yung yung skills mo doon sa specialization mo. So pag accounting, hindi dapat lahat ng accounting alam. Maaring ang magiging work mo nakafocus sa tax, nakafocus sa auditing, or nakafocus sa government accounting or teaching, ganun. The next is the coordination. So yun nga, dapat alam mo rin yung magiging effect ng work mo with the other departments. And dapat hindi ka lang nag-work for yourself. Hindi mo lang dapat tinatapos yung activities mo for yourself. Dapat marunong kang makipag-cooperate with the other departments. Next is the authority and responsibility. We already know that na dapat may leader. And you should be able to use your authority in a good way. Na hindi dapat porque manager ka or boss, kumbaga aabusuhin mo yung mga subordinates mo. Dapat as a leader, you should be able to protect your subordinates, support them, and then inspire them. The next is the unity of command. Yan, scalar chain, span of control. Yung span of control, meaning as a leader, dapat alam mo yung yung kung hanggang saan lang yung limitations ng control mo. Ganun. And then exception, efficiency. Yan, di ba na-discuss natin yung effective and efficiency? Meaning, pag effective, yung objective mo or yung mga alternative course of action mo, na mo siya, na-implement mo siya ng maayos at na-reach nyo naman yung goal nyo. Pero magiging efficient lang yon kung kunyari naging maliit yung cost, yon hindi naapektuhan yung yung cost ng ng pagsasagawa mo ng specific na objective na yun or ng actions na yun. So maaaring nagawa mo na-reach mo yung goal pero sobrang gastos naman, so hindi siya efficient. So yun. The next is balance, homogeneity, continuity, and simplicity. Okay, so we have the organizational structure. First, pwede siya maging vertical differentiation, tall versus flat structure. And the next is the vertical differentiation, yung functional, multivisional, divisional, geographic structure, and matrix structure. So yun, for the tall organization, ganito yung itsura niya. Yan. So, kung mapapansin nyo from the president, merong siguro two vice president to. And then the next is president, two vice president, and then another two leaders. Siyempre, ito yung mga kunyari ito yung nasa pinakababa, ito. Itong nasa pinakababa, wait lang, lagyan natin ako. Okay. So, itong nasa pinakababa, kunyari, ito yung mga analysts or processors. Yan. Kumbaga, ito yung mga nasa siguro ito yung mga kakagraduate lang, ganun. And then, magiging senior or mga team leader, supervisor, and then manager. And then VP, vice president, and then the president. Yun. So, sa flat organization naman, kung mapapansin nyo, mas madaming leaders. Ayan, mas sinati-hati nila yung leaders. Yan, parang siguro ito mga mga VPs, and then dahil maraming VPs, mas maraming responsibilities. Yan, hinati-hati na nila yun sa mga tao. So, depende pa din yan sa kailangan din ni organization. So for vertical integration, for tall organization daw, this type of organizational structure or architecture has many layers and narrow span of control. Yan. So, dahil nga, ito, syempre, ang control lang nito ay itong nasa baba niya. Ayan. Ito namang nasa taas ni, siguro ito yung mga managers. Ang control lang naman niya siguro yung mga senior or supervisor. Ganon. Siguro makakailam lang siya pag hindi na ganun ka-effective si supervisor or team leaders, ganyan din. Saka siya aabot dito sa pinakadulo. Pero dapat, as much as possible, kunyari may question si pinakababa to the managers, dapat dadaan mo na yan kay supervisors. Hindi siya pwedeng dumiretso kay managers agad. Dapat lahat ng concerns niya muna dadaan muna kay supervisor as a sign of respect. Ganun siya sa isang company. For flat organization, this type of organizational structure or architecture has few layers and wide span of control. Yan. Also, for tall organization, ito yung mga advantage niya or disadvantage. And mas expensive daw si organization because of the number of managers involved. So yun nga, dahil mas marami yung managers na involved sa tall organization, tapos syempre nagkaroon ng nagkaroon pa ng hierarchy, mas mataas na hierarchy, meaning mas mataas na sweldo. Ganon. Kasi may mga per level din siya. Foster more communication problems because of the number of people through whom information must pass. Yun nga, di ba, sabi ko, pag kunyari analyst or processors, hindi pwedeng dumiretso agad-agad kay manager. Dapat dadaan muna yan kay supervisor as a sign of respect. Tsaka rin yun, nasa policy or process din ng isang company na pag may concerns ka or may mga comments or suggestion, dadaan muna kay supervisor bago dadaan kay manager and vice president. For flat organization, yan nga, lead to higher levels of employee morale and productivity. Since yun nga, hindi ganun kataas yung hierarchy or hindi ganun kalawak yung hierarchy na meron ang flat organization, mas nagiging mataas ang moral ng employee. Kasi kumbaga hindi nila nararamdaman na sobrang baba nila. Ganun. Create more administrative responsibility for relatively few managers and create more supervisory responsibility for managers due to wider spans of control. Yan. So for the horizontal differentiation naman, we have first the functional structure. So ito yung pinaka-common na organizational structure kasi dinedepende natin yung hierarchy sa pangangailangan ni organization or depende rin sa department na meron ng isang organization. So we have here the production department, finance department, marketing department, HR department. And then nagpo-fall sila sa iisang general manager. Pwede yun. Or else, kunyari sobrang laki ng company nyo, for example, yung San Miguel Corporation, ayan, maaaring magkaroon ng sariling general manager itong finance department. Magkakaroon din ng sariling general manager itong marketing department. So, actually, depende siya sa laki ng corporation or ng company or depende rin siya sa pangangailangan ng isang company. So, pag sobrang laki, ang dami yung staff, ayan, might as well marami din talagang manager doon. Structure is created based on the various function of an organization. Yan, so here, meron din tayong multi-division structure. So, meron tayong Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. So, maaaring, di ba kanina for function, maaaring ito naman, yung for division na to, hinati-hati lang nila sa tatlo, pero maaaring lahat ng klase ng functions meron sila. For example, sa Division 1, lahat ng types of work gagawin nila. Example, sila din yung production, sila din yung accounting, sila din yung lahat. Normally nangyayari to pag siguro familiar ako sa accounting, mga public accounting firms, wherein yung yung teams nila hindi hinati-hati sa types of work. Hinati-hati siya depende sa location. For example, ako dati ang hawak ko Las Piñas. So lahat ng kliyente ko Las Piñas. So from the first process of work, like collecting ng resibo, collecting ng sales nila, hanggang sa submission of the financial statements, ginagawa ko. So, maaring si Division 2, ang hawak naman niya Parañaque. So, mula ulit sa pagko-collect ng resibo, ng expenses, ng sales, hanggang masubmit yung financial statements. Ganon. Maaring yung multi-division structure, bagay siya sa mga public accounting department. Yung maliliit lang na accounting department or na accounting firm, yung ganon. And multi-division are created in a related industry. Kasi for example, dito naman sa functional, kunyari sa accounting department, pag gano'n yung ginawa nila, kunyari lahat ng location hawak nila, tapos may yung isang kunyari, isa gagawa for the resibo, for the expenses and sales, magkokolekta. Yung isa naman mag-encode. Yung isa naman gagawa ng financial statement and then magre-review ng financial statement. Yan. So, kung ganon, kung functional structure. Pero pag multi-division, pwede nilang hati-hatiin yun per location naman. Okay? So for divisional or M-form or multi-divisional design or structure, an organizational arrangement based on a multiple businesses in related areas operating within a larger organizational framework following a strategy of related diversification. So, pwede rin siya sa mga, yung may mga sister company na, na company. Ayan. For example, siguro yung BDO din. Ayan. So, meron silang, iba-ibang businesses na normally pare-parehas lang naman din ng work. So, yun. Ganon din siya. Pwede rin siya doon. Activities are decentralized down to divisional level. Others are centralized at the corporate level. And the largest advantage of M-form design are the opportunities for coordination and sharing the resources. Since, yun nga, pare-pares lang naman sila ng ginagawa. Pwede silang mag-share ng best practice nila, ganun. So, marami din siyang opportunities dahil nga sa dami ng work na ginagawa mo. Madali kang ma-expose din sa ibang opportunities kasi lahat ng work na hawakan mo mula sa first process hanggang dun sa output. Geographic structure. Ayan, General Manager, Eastern Region, Central Region, and Western Region. So, ito din, katulad din siya ng sinabi ko kanina sa multi-divisional. Parang ganito din siya. So, hahati-hatiin mo din depende sa location. Pero normally ito ginagawa to sa sa mga BPO companies wherein ito kunyari general manager or the president, and then may kanya-kanya silang project managers na na vice president din pero iba't ibang location. So kunyari merong hawak Philippines, may hawak ng tawag dito ng Europe, gano'n, ng Spain, ganyan. Depende sa sa laki din ng company. Yan. So departments are created based on the geographic regions. All activities in one region is categorized into one unit. So meron ding matrix organization. Ayan. So here, meron tayong CEO sa taas, and then may mga vice president siya. Yan. Parang sa BPO din to, may ganito din. Vice President ng Engineering, meron ding Vice President ng HR, may Vice President din ng Finance or Marketing. Tapos, ito may mga project siya. So, parang siguro kliyente din to. Yeah, si Project Manager A, iba yung kliyente na hawak niya. Iba din yung kliyente na hawak ni Project Manager B or Project Manager C. Tapos, lahat sila kailangan ng engineering na employee. Lahat sila may kailangan din ng production na employees. And then, lahat sila may kailangan din ng finance na employee and then marketing na employee. Pero iba-iba sila ng hawak na kliyente sa isang project manager. Okay, so for the matrix structure, ang advantage nito, it enhances the organizational flexibility. And then team members have the opportunity to learn new skills. Yun nga, kasi syempre, pag nalipat ka rin sa bagong kliyente or panibagong project, another skills, another knowledge. Lalo na pag magkaibang industry. And then provides an efficient way for the organization to use its human resources. So yun nga, dahil flexible siya, pag kailangan ni project manager ng isang employee, kakausapin lang niya si Vice President na kailangan ko ng ganitong employee, ganun siya. Team members serve as bridges to their departments for the team. And then, ang disadvantage naman nito, employees are uncertain about reporting relationship. So yun nga, since lagi kang pabago-bago ng work, depende rin sa project manager na hawak sa'yo. Malilito ka kung kanino ka ba magre-report. The dynamics of group behavior may lead to slower decision-making, one-person domination, compromise decisions, or a loss of focus. Yun nga. And then more time may be required for coordinating task-related activities. So every time na magbabago yung project mo na hawak, magbabago din yung manager na hawak mo. So maraming time na kailangang ilaan para bago maka-coordinate yung mga task. Okay. So the next naman nating i-discuss natin itong part 3, which is the responsibility. Yan, establishing task and reporting relationship. And then, creating accountability. Yan. So, next meeting, ito naman yung aaralin natin. So, that's all for today, yung natin. Hanggang chapter 4 natin, hanggang doon lang naman sa mga organizational structure. And the next week, itong part 3 naman yung i-discuss natin.